Welcome everyone to our English Mini Masterclass. Today we are going to be taking a look at sentence fragments. Before we dive into what is a sentence fragment, how about what makes a sentence complete? So for a sentence to be complete, there are three requirements. It must have a subject, a predicate or a verb, and a complete thought. For example, dogs bark. Just two words and it does not sound like it's a complete sentence. But if you look more closely at it, does it have a subject? Yes, in this case it's dogs. Does it have a verb? Yes, bark. And dogs bark is a complete thought. It's just a fact simply stated. It doesn't leave you wondering if there's anything missing. Let's look at another example. If I can find my wallet. So, does this have a subject? Yes, it does. I. Does it have a verb? Yes, it does. In this case, we have a verb phrase, can find. Okay, so does it have a complete thought? In this case, the answer is no. If I can find my wallet begs the question, what happens when I find my wallet? This is an example of a dependent or subordinate clause. It's dependent because it cannot stand on its own. On its own, it does not form a complete thought or a complete sentence as a result. It can also be easily identified by words like if, which is an example of a subordinated conjunction. Subordinating conjunctions are words that connect dependent and independent clauses together. Example, after I exercised, I was tired. So if you look at the latter part of the sentence, I was tired is a complete sentence because it has a subject, a predicate, which is the verb was, and it forms a complete thought. This is an example of an independent clause. And if you look at the first part of this sentence, before the comma, after I exercised, this is an example of a dependent clause. Because after I exercised, while it has a subject I and a verb exercised, it begs the question, what happened after I exercised? As a result, this is not a complete sentence on its own. So dependent clauses like after I exercised must be connected to independent clauses, and this is the function of subordinating conjunction. So, if you're ever in an exam and you are rereading your work and a supposed sentence leaves you with the same feeling you might get if you're watching your favorite show and it ends on a cliffhanger, those burning questions of what, why, how, then chances are you're dealing with a sentence fragment. So check to see if you have a dependent clause floating about and make sure it's connected to an independent clause so that you can form a complete sentence with a subject, predicate, and a complete thought.